What if the life you're living right now is not just the result of circumstances, but also the result of the energy, emotions, beliefs, and identity you've been practicing every single day? What if you are influencing your future far more than you realize? And what if the law of attraction is not just about thinking positive thoughts or hoping something good will happen, but about becoming energetically aligned with the reality you want to experience? Because that's where a lot of people get this wrong. They think the law of attraction means sitting back, wishing, visualizing once in a while, and waiting for the universe to do all the work. But that's not real transformation. That's just passive desire. The deeper truth is this: you don't attract what you want only because you want it. You attract what you are emotionally familiar with. You attract what matches your dominant state of being. You attract from your identity, your subconscious mind, your self-belief, your emotional patterns, and the energy you keep sending out day after day. So if your mind keeps living in doubt, fear, resentment, scarcity, and old pain, then even when you say you want love, abundance, peace, or wealth, your inner world may still be broadcasting something very different. And that's why so many people feel stuck. They want a new reality while emotionally living in the old one. They want abundance with a victim mindset. They want peace while rehearsing stress. They want personal transformation while staying loyal to the personality that created their current life. But when you truly understand the law of attraction, something shifts. You realize that manifestation is not just about getting. It's about becoming. It's about changing your inner state so deeply that your outer world begins to reflect it. It's about creating your reality from the inside out. So in this video, we're going to talk about what that really means. We're going to talk about why you are the creator of your life, the difference between a creator mindset and a victim mindset, why believing in your future before it happens matters so much, the power of emotional visualization, how changing your personality changes your reality, what abundance mindset really looks like, and how awareness, discipline, and vision lead to real manifestation and personal growth. Because once you understand this, you stop chasing life from the outside, and you start changing the frequency of who you are. And that's when things begin to move. The first thing you have to understand is that you are not just reacting to life. You are participating in its creation. Now, that does not mean you caused every painful thing that ever happened to you. It does not mean life is always fair. And it does not mean you control every single outcome. What it means is that your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and repeated behaviors are constantly shaping the reality you experience. Your outer life is deeply connected to your inner state. The way you think affects the way you feel. The way you feel affects the choices you make. The choices you make create habits. Those habits reinforce identity, and identity influences reality. This is why two people can walk through similar circumstances and experience life very differently. One continues to create from fear, survival, and limitation. The other begins creating from consciousness, possibility, gratitude, and self-belief. The law of attraction begins here. It begins with understanding that your energy matters, your focus matters, your assumptions matter, your subconscious mind matters. The emotional state you return to every day matters. Because whether you realize it or not, you are always sending a signal. You are always giving life a message about what you believe is possible, what you believe you deserve, what you expect, and who you think you are. So if you keep saying, "I never get lucky, nothing changes for me, I'm always stuck, I'm not enough, money is hard, love never works out for me," those are not harmless thoughts. Those are instructions. Those are patterns. Those are energetic rehearsals. And over time, those rehearsals become your reality. That's why personal transformation begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer and start realizing you are a powerful participant in the creation of your life. The law of attraction does not work well with a victim mindset, because a victim mindset keeps your energy trapped in the frequency of powerlessness. A victim mindset says, life is happening to me. I have no control. Nothing ever changes. People like me don't get to have that. I'm limited by my past. This is just who I am. That mindset keeps you emotionally bonded to struggle. It keeps you focused on what's missing, what's unfair, what went wrong, and why change feels impossible. And the more you live in that state, the more you continue attracting experiences that confirm it. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your attention, your energy, and your identity keep reinforcing the same pattern. A creator mindset is different. A creator mindset says, this may be painful, but I still have power. I can choose a new response. I can become someone new. I can stop living from old, limiting beliefs. I can align with the version of me that already exists in possibility. That doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means not worshiping it. It doesn't mean denying your past. It means not building your identity around it. It doesn't mean pretending everything is easy. It means refusing to let difficulty define your future. The creator mindset is essential to manifestation because the law of attraction responds to your state of being. And your state of being changes when you stop asking, why is life against me? And start asking, what energy am I feeding? What beliefs am I repeating? What reality am I continuing to broadcast? That is where self-belief begins to replace helplessness. One of the deepest spiritual principles behind manifestation is this: you must believe in the invisible before it becomes visible. Most people wait for evidence before they allow themselves to believe. They say, once the money comes, then I'll feel secure. Once the relationship appears, then I'll feel loved. Once the success happens, then I'll believe in myself. Once life changes, then I'll trust. But that is backwards, because if you only believe after you see the results, then you remain emotionally loyal to your current reality. And if you stay emotionally loyal to your current reality, you keep recreating more of it. The law of attraction asks something deeper of you. It asks you to believe before the evidence arrives, to trust before the outcome appears, to become available for a future your eyes cannot fully see yet. That's not denial. That's alignment. It means you begin holding the energy of your future self before your outer world fully reflects it. It means you stop treating your current conditions as the final truth. It means you understand that your visible life often lags behind your invisible identity. This is why faith matters in manifestation. Not blind fantasy, not pretending, but a grounded inner knowing that says, I am no longer only available for my old reality. I am available for something higher. That belief changes how you think. It changes how you speak. It changes how you walk into rooms. It changes how you make decisions. It changes what you tolerate and what you no longer tolerate. And little by little, your future begins to feel more real than your past. That is when energy starts to move. This may be one of the most important parts of all, because manifestation is not only mental, it is emotional. A lot of people know how to think about what they want, but they do not know how to feel it. They can say they want abundance, but they still feel lack. They can say they want love, but they still feel unworthy. They can say they want peace, but their body is addicted to stress. They can say they want a new life, but emotionally they are still living in the old one. And this is where emotional visualization becomes so powerful. When you intentionally feel the emotions of your future now, you begin teaching your body what that reality feels like before it physically arrives. You begin practicing gratitude before the blessing shows up. You begin practicing confidence before the result happens. You begin practicing freedom before the circumstance changes. You begin practicing abundance before the money lands. Why does that matter? Because your body responds to emotion as if something is real. And when you repeatedly generate elevated emotions like gratitude, love, joy, peace, trust, and possibility, you start shifting your internal chemistry. You begin moving out of survival and into creation. This is why the law of attraction is not just about positive thinking. It is about emotional embodiment. You are no longer waiting for life to give you a reason to feel better. You are becoming the source of a new emotional state from within. And once your mind and body begin to cooperate with a new future, instead of resisting it, you become more magnetically aligned with that future. This is where synchronicity often begins to appear more clearly, not always in dramatic ways. Sometimes it's subtle, the right idea, the right conversation, the right opportunity, a sudden inner shift. A moment of clarity, a new door opening where there used to be none. When your internal world changes, your external world often begins to respond. If you want a new reality, you cannot keep being the same person who created the old one. Again, this doesn't mean becoming fake, it means becoming conscious. Your personality is made up of repeated thoughts, repeated emotional reactions, repeated habits, repeated perspectives, repeated ways of speaking, and repeated ways of interpreting life. And if your personality stays the same, your reality often stays the same too. So if your personality is built around overthinking, fear, resentment, self-doubt, scarcity, and old emotional wounds, then even if you dream about a new future, your inner world keeps pulling you back to the familiar. That is why personal transformation requires identity change. You have to start asking, what thoughts do I keep rehearsing? What emotions have become my normal? What stories do I keep telling about myself? What limiting beliefs are keeping my future at a distance? What version of me keeps showing up every day? Because your future self does not think the same way. Your future self does not emotionally live in the same patterns. Your future self does not keep repeating the same self-concept. To create your reality at a higher level, you have to let the old personality loosen its grip. You have to notice when your familiar self is trying to take over again. The fearful self, the doubtful self, the bitter self, the small self, the version of you that expects disappointment. And instead of obeying it automatically, you begin choosing differently. That is how you change your energy. That is how you recondition the subconscious mind. That is how manifestation becomes real and not just theoretical. Let's talk about abundance, because this is one of the biggest areas where people say they want change but remain energetically unavailable for it. An abundance mindset is not just saying, I want more money. It is becoming the kind of person who can align with, receive, hold, and grow abundance. A person can want wealth and still carry a deep internal relationship with scarcity. They panic when they spend, they feel guilty when they receive, they fear there will never be enough, they expect loss, they compare constantly, they make emotional decisions from lack. They secretly believe abundance is for other people. That energy matters. Because wealth is not only about numbers, it is also about identity, trust, worthiness, discipline, and emotional capacity. Becoming your future self in the area of abundance means you stop thinking like someone who is always about to lose everything. It means you start becoming more grounded, more intentional, and more open. Maybe that looks like finally facing your finances with honesty. Maybe it looks like learning how to manage money instead of avoiding it. Maybe it looks like releasing shame around desire. Maybe it looks like being grateful for what is already present instead of always broadcasting lack. The law of attraction works more powerfully when gratitude becomes part of your state. Gratitude tells the universe, I recognize what is already here. I am available for more. I trust expansion. That's why gratitude is not a cliche, it's a frequency shift. And abundance grows more naturally when you stop asking only, how do I get more? And start asking, Who do I need to become to live in alignment with more? Because wealth is easier to build when your identity no longer rejects it. So how does all of this actually become real in your daily life? Through awareness, discipline, and vision. Awareness is the beginning of awakening. It is when you notice the old story. It is when you catch the thought before it fully takes over. It is when you realize, I have been living from a victim mindset. I have been emotionally addicted to stress. I have been repeating the same limiting beliefs for years. I have been asking for one reality while embodying another. Without awareness, nothing changes. But awareness alone is not enough. Because seeing the pattern is one thing, interrupting it consistently is another. That is where discipline comes in. Discipline is how you teach yourself to stop returning to the old self every time discomfort appears. It's how you keep visualizing even when nothing has changed yet. It's how you keep choosing gratitude when lack tries to dominate your focus. It's how you keep embodying your future self when the old personality feels easier. It's how you keep aligning with your vision even when progress feels invisible. And then there is vision. Vision is sacred because it gives direction to your transformation. Who are you becoming? What are you available for now? What kind of energy do you want to live in? What does your future self feel like? What values does that version of you live by? How does that version of you think, speak, choose, love, work, and move through the world? Vision gives your nervous system and your subconscious mind a new map. And when awareness, discipline, and vision come together, that is when personal transformation becomes embodied. That is when the law of attraction stops being just an idea and starts becoming a lived practice. Not overnight, not magically in one moment, but gradually, powerfully, and deeply. So here's the truth. The law of attraction is not just about wanting a different life. It's about becoming a different version of yourself. It's about changing what you keep thinking, what you keep feeling, what you keep expecting, and what you keep practicing every day. Because your reality is shaped not only by what happens around you, but by the identity you keep reinforcing within you. When you move from a victim mindset into a creator mindset, when you start believing in your future before you can see it, when you practice the emotions of the life you want, and when you begin aligning your habits with your future self, that's when real change begins. Not all at once, not overnight, but in a way that is real, grounded, and lasting. Because your life starts changing when you do. So if this message resonated with you, comment below with this phrase, I'm ready to think, feel, and live differently. And if you want more videos on the law of attraction, manifestation, abundance, mindset shifts, and personal transformation, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And after this video, watch your inner story is shaping your life. Change the story. Change your life. Because a big part of the reality you create comes from the story you keep telling yourself about who you are. And if that story has been shaped by doubt, fear, old pain, or limiting beliefs, it can quietly keep you stuck without you even realizing it. So if you're ready to go deeper and start changing the story that may be shaping your life, watch that video next. I'll see you there.